So this week we're reviewing the Toyota Corolla. And it gets its name because you know I love finding about car names and where they come from. It gets its name from the original Toyota Crown. Now it's not a Crown, it's a smaller version of a Crown, and basically a smaller version of a Crown is a Corolla, and that's where it got its name from. I think it's quite sweet in a way. Now, speaking of sweet, this has a little bittersweet taste to it, this car, because it's been around an awful long time and it's done very, very well indeed. It was first launched back, wait for it, in 1966. Yeah, the year that England won the World Cup, the only time we ever celebrate winning anything in this country. Unfortunately, that was so long ago. But joking apart, this car, 1966, 12 generations. At one point, it was actually taken off the market and it was renamed another name, and the public really didn't get on with that name, so they changed it back and brought back the Corolla again, and that's what we're driving today, which is the latest version of that. Now, this car was so popular, in 1974, it actually became the biggest selling car in the world. There you go, the biggest selling car in the world. And in 1997, it surpassed the sales of the Volkswagen Beetle, which was huge. And it's actually sold more than that. Now, 2021, I mean, we're now in 2023. In 2021, this car had sold over 50 million cars. 50 million. That's absolutely incredible, and it's testament to the popularity of this car. But we've got to find out why it's so popular. What makes it the public's choice when it comes to cars? Because pretty much that's what this is. Well, let's take a look around it. Let's have a look under the bonnet, see what the engine configurations are. Let's check out in the boot for the passengers and get it out on the road and give it a road test. And at the end of the day, we'll give you our evaluation, straight up evaluation of the latest Toyota Corolla. You're watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. And if you've never ever seen what we do, check this out. This is how a car should sound. Listen to this. I didn't really push it either. I was just having a bit of fun. Oh, really? So there you have it, guys, the Ferrari Roma, my birthday present. Here we go, we're going to meet the crew and hopefully get the thing. Nice, a real one.
I think it makes a good work.
Let's go.
Nice to start.
Nice to see you. Show us your big chopper, your helicopter. So here we are, the Morgan Roadster, where we're here for the Swiss Watch Show. Hey guys, guess what? It's another morning here out in sunny France. I think you have to agree with me. It's a very, very pretty car, isn't it? It's got some lovely lines to it, and I love the way the car actually sits. Toyota have done a superb job of the styling of this car. The car is available in 4 different trim levels. So you've got the Icon, which is your entry-level car. You then got the Design, then the GR Sport, and your kitchen sink level, top of the range, as I like to call it, is the XL. Now you're talking price range between 30,000 UK pounds, from 30,000 UK pounds for your entry-level car, to 36,000 or from 36,000 UK pounds for your all singing and dancing kitchen sink level car. That's the XL. You will get a choice of 19 different colours. Absolutely amazing choice. However, only the solid colours come as part of that price. Any of the other colours you choose, including this amazing, especially in this sun as well, this blue here with the speckly bits in it, the metallics that they do in this range, you will be paying an extra 300 to 900 UK pounds on top. So just be aware of that. And there are also a number of packs that you can add to this car that will increase the price. So those figures I've quoted you are base prices, so just be aware of that. Entry-level cars do come with 16-inch alloys, and they come with auto dip beam LED headlights. I particularly like the headlights on this car, the way they wrap around there. Really nice. Again, a little, little touch on the design. Kitchen sink level car will come with 18-inch rims. So all in all, a really nice little package, good looking, and I think, believe it or not, value for money. Right, let's check out under the bonnet and see what the engine and gearbox configurations are on the Toyota Corolla. The bonnet release catch is in the driver's side. I'm not going to say footwell because it isn't that far down. It's about halfway down inside the actual plastic front piece. You'll find it there. Don't forget, if you're driving a left-hand drive version of this, it's going to be in the same position, but it's going to be on the passenger side because they're not going to swap it around. It costs too much money. So give it a single pull like that, pops up perfectly. We'll head round the front and I'll show you exactly where the lever is itself to undo the bonnet. If you put your hands in like the flat like that and then slide to the left, you'll feel there's the levers in there. It's directly above the badge, and just lift up, very light. There's no gas struts on this, but it's a very, very light bonnet indeed. The strut itself, you can pull that down from here and you just pop it in over there on the left-hand side. Very compact, but nevertheless very open and visible and easy to work on. I think that's going to make life much easier for your mechanic to get in there and do whatever needs doing on this engine. That's if you ever really need to touch it, because these engines are pretty much bomb-proof. Two engine options available. You've got a 1.8 litre 4-cylinder petrol turbo engine, and that will kick out around about 140 brake horsepower. It's all right. It's not bad. 1.8 litre. It's going to give you in the regions of around 60 to 65 to the gallon. You know, I think that's pretty credible for a 1.8 litre engine. However, the engine we've got here is what I would personally go for. This is the 2 litre. Again, it's a 4-cylinder and it's a petrol turbo powered engine. Both of the engines are hybrid assisted, full fat hybrid. So you're getting the maximum, but it's not a plug-in. It does it all itself. You don't have to worry about any of that. So the 2 litre itself will kick out around 196 brake horsepower. Now here comes the biggest letdown, in my opinion, of the Toyota Corolla. Toyota are still fitting the CVT. They call it a gearbox. It's not. It's a rubber band with a wheel in it that just extends backwards and forwards as you accelerate. And the noise is just, well, Toyota said with this particular model, it was going to be better because it had a turbo assisted to it, and with the hybrid and everything, it was going to make a huge difference to the sound. It doesn't really do a lot of difference, to be honest with you. I would have fitted a nice 6-speed manual option, or maybe a 7 or 8-speed auto gearbox to this car. So much easier. Why go with the CVT, Toyota? It's letting it down, because at the end of the day, this car, even with the CVT on the 1.8 litre, will give you a 0 to 60 time around about 9.4 seconds. Very respectable. But this 2 litre will actually get there in 7.4 seconds. With a top speed, both engines are limited to 111 miles an hour. So all in all, a nice setup, very easy to choose from. But to be honest, 2 litre, and any day, give me a proper automatic gearbox instead of the CVT. Right, let's have a look round at the back of the Toyota Corolla. It's a very distinctive design. It's very unique, but at the same time, when I'm looking at it, it's almost like the front. You could almost swap the two around because the LEDs almost mimic the headlights, these rear clusters, and the actual sort of shape of the car itself is almost like a bonnet, isn't it? But I quite like it. It's distinctive. I think that's the word. You get some great aero going on at the back. You've got spoiler on the top here. It's great for the aero efficiency on this car. We'll talk a little bit more about economy when we get it out on the road, but it is very, very good, this car. I think a lot of that is all to do with the shapes that you're seeing here as well. You get the brake light built in there. You've got this beautiful rear screen on here. Makes reversing this car and parking it extremely easy, even with the reverse camera and the beepers, but having this larger sort of screen at the back here is absolutely brilliant. Privacy glass all the way around, and you've got a wash wipe here which will keep it clean when it starts to get a little bit dirty. No fake vents here. Hate fake vents. Toyota has stayed well away from that. Don't need it, just looks silly. And at the end of the day, really nice, good looking car from behind. No assisted tail lift, no electronic assistance. Do you really need it with such a small boot on this car? To access it, it's just down here. Slip your finger in there, just pull the button, and the gas struts will do the work. Look at that, so easy. Very, very light indeed. And also in a good height as well. You're not going to be hitting your head on this. Loading up, well, it's a little bit high, so it does come up to just over my thigh. So that means when you're putting heavy stuff in here, you're going to have to be careful you don't end up scratching this rear bumper here. And likewise across the lip here, there's quite a large drop inside there as well, quite a decent height. That, you know, in my opinion, could be a little bit better. However, at the end of the day, I'm really nitpicking here. What I would do, just a big tip, you guys, get yourself some sticky back clear plastic. You can buy it for about £1 a sheet. Just lay that over here. It's going to protect it, and when it starts to look a bit tatty and old, rip it off and go buy yourself another sheet for £1. So simple, you can cut it any size you want. Tip of the week there. You get the obligatory parcel shelf. I'm going to take it out, I'm going to show you because I want to show you inside here as well, the actual size of it. Now the problem is, it comes out very easy. It's a nice parcel shelf. It's got no real function, to be honest with you. And the unfortunate thing is, if you are going to transport this around, let's say you've just suddenly decided you're going to pick up, your son's bike, or you've got a couple of dogs, you take him out. You're going to have to. You can't leave this in the back here because it can't go underneath. There's no room for it. So the only way you can just lay it in there like that, and it's going to get damaged. So inevitably, I think if you're going to be using this car on a more family sort of practical basis, you're going to be leaving this at home, which is a bit of a waste at the end of the day. I think Toyota need to start thinking a little bit more outside the box when it comes to parcel shelves, because a lot of the other manufacturers are doing the roll-up ones that you can slide in the back here. Makes life a lot easier. Anyway, it's out of the way. Let's not talk about it anymore. This car will take 6 carry-on suitcases. It's got a decent sized boot on it, very decent, over 300 litres. And when the seats are down, you've got a 60-40 split on the seats. When those seats go down, you go over 1,000 litres. You will get a bike in here, you will get 2 or 3 dogs in here. You're going to easily cope with the shopping, or if you're going on holiday, as I say, you're going to get 6 suitcases. However, if you go for the 2-litre version of this car, you will lose a bit of space in the back, because with the 2-litre engine you need a much bigger battery, and that battery is too big to go under the bonnet, and consequently it gets put in here, and that impinges on your room, the room that you've got to put your storage space in the back here, but not by a lot. To be honest, stick with the 2-litre. Live with the fact you might only get 5 carry-on suitcases, if you get my drift. No bits and pieces in here. There's no 12-volt adapters. There's no shopping bag holders. So very basic. There's a couple of tie-off points, and you get the standard puncture repair kit, which is completely useless. With this car, go run flats, much easier, a little bit more expensive, but probably the way forward. You're not going to get a spare wheel in here either, but you get that stupid latex stuff that you put in the tyre and the pump. Doesn't work, throw it, don't even bother with it. So at the end of the day though, practical, versatile, couple of little bits and pieces that I've mentioned, but all in all, yeah, it's pretty good. Right, let's check it out, what it's like in the back for the passengers. I've left my seat in its normal driving position just to give you a good idea. There's plenty of room under your feet, which is nice, but it's pretty tight and it's very, very upright. So I'm not sure I'd want to go long distances in this car. However, I'm saying that, it's very comfy. This is a new car, so it's going to be quite a solid seat to start with. But looking around, generally really nice indeed. It's got a much higher roof line than what I thought it was going to be, because when you look at the car from the outside, it looks like it's actually sloping backwards, and you'd think that would, impinge on your actual roof height. Or your ceiling height within the car itself, but no, it seems really, the only thing I have noticed, I'm not exactly the tallest, but it's quite tight on the side here where it curves around. So just check, well, at the end of the day, I think primarily in the back here is either going to be younger kids, or you've got your Isofix points in here, so you can have the little ones in here as well. These Isofix points, they're the poppy outy ones. You have to pull them out like that. These are the ones I really hate, because I think they're dangerous in actual fact, because if a child got hold of one here, or a dog or something like that, it could be, could be deemed as quite dangerous. And at the end of the day, it's inevitable. You're going to lose one of these, and then when you take the car back, after the end of its lease, or if you're selling the car, you're going to have to invest in. They won't sell these individually, I'm pretty sure. You're going to have to buy a whole set of them, and they won't be cheap either. So again, a couple of little bits and pieces that could be a thought around, maybe Toyota. You've thought a lot of the technology in this car, but simple things. It's the simple things that matter. I'm going to pop that one back in there like that. They pop in and out quite easily, but that means they can also be taken out quite easily as well. In the centre here, you do get a nice armrest. Very nice indeed. You've got a double cup holder. Additionally, on each of the doors, there is another cup holder there. So you can put cups in there, you can put, pretty much you can have drinks everywhere in this car. Fantastic. It does get, I'm going to pull the window just so you can see the window, a decent sized window in the back here, which is good if you've got anybody who suffers from car sickness, you know, nausea from driving. The bigger that window is, the better, to be honest with you. And it's tinted round the back as well, so it keeps it nice and cool in the summer. And if you're driving along, you've got the aircon on, keep the windows up. It's just really nice in the back here. I like it. It's extremely comfortable. It's just a little bit tight, as you can see. On this particular model, there aren't any amenities like charging facilities in the back here. You do have like a little pocket. I don't even know what you'd be using that for. Material-wise, really nice finish on it. It's obviously family friendly, if you get my drift. So it's a wipe-free family environment in the back here. So sticky stuff, ice cream, sweets or whatever, you're going to be able to easily wipe and keep this clean. But all in all, but in the back for the passengers, it's okay. I think that's the best way of looking at it. So all Toyota Corollas come with keyless entry and keyless ignition. The actual start-stop button is down here just behind your lighting stalk there. Cars come with a 10.5-inch multimedia TFT entertainment system set right up there, very easy to use. The good thing is you do get dual climate control as well. Now, what I mean the good thing is the fact it is separate to that TFT touchscreen. So if you get in here with gloves on a cold day, you haven't got to fiddle around setting the heating up on the touchscreen, you've got a couple of decent sized knobs here and you can keep your gloves on while you're adjusting your temperatures, or you've got your little buttons down here to adjust your airflow and all the other bits and pieces that are with your air conditioning system. Again, I really like that. As part of your entertainment system, you will get auto Android mirroring and you will get Apple Play as standard, and don't forget, obviously, you get Bluetooth connectivity as well. So you're pretty much covered when it comes to playing tunes. You get a DAB radio with it as well, a decent digital cluster over here as well, a really nice digital cluster. I like that, I think it's excellent. A number of safety aids, including things like your tyre pressure monitoring system, cruise control, you've got the beepers for reversing front and rear, and you also get a reverse camera. All in all, even on your entry-level car, it's pretty well stacked for the money. So first things first, when you get out on the road in the Corolla, you're going to notice how big the windscreen is. It's got a real depth to it, which, believe it or not, is brilliant, because when you're trying to park somewhere or just maneuverability in this car, having as much glass as possible means you get an all-round great peripheral vision, and this car has an abundance of that. Another thing which I really like, and speaking that peripheral vision, you've got a little quarter light just behind the mirror here. I found that really handy when you are parking or you're reversing. It's nice to be able to see down there behind the mirror, so that mirror's not blocking, and the mirrors are absolutely fantastic. I just want to point one thing out while we're talking about mirrors. There are no blind spot mirrors on this car. You only get them on the top of the range cars. Just thought I'd mention that. A little bit disappointing, because I think blind spot mirrors are essential in today's modern driving, and I think all manufacturers should give us those as part of the price. It just doesn't make sense why you would only get it on the top of the range car to me. It's a very, very big safety part of your car. Moving on swiftly before I get too moany about the car, it's not really a lot to moan about. It's got a great driving position. You've got plenty of manoeuvrability on the steering wheel. You're going to find, no matter how tall or short you are, you're going to find a really good position to sit in. You get a manual adjusted seat, but there is an electronic lumbar control down there, so you can get that, you know, that bit that comes into your back and pumps up and goes up and down. That's electronically controlled down there, which is, again, really nice and nice to have. I'm not over keen on this big sort of 10-inch screen stuck right in your face there. It does tend to, you know, at night especially, although you can dim it, there is a little dimmer, you know, luminosity button as they call it. It's still right in the middle there, and it seems to be facing that way. It doesn't actually face the driver. So little tweaks I would make if I was Toyota would be just to slightly angle the screen a bit more towards me. But at the end of the day, it's reachable. So if I'm tapping around on here, setting up controls or looking up, you know, what we're getting to the gallon, which at the moment, got to talk economy here, 62.6, guys. I mean, that's pretty incredible for an around town mileage. That's not even the combined. 60, well, it's just gone up, 63.3 now. I've been getting really good mileage out of this car. It's a superb car to drive. It's a lot of it is aided by that turbo. But my biggest bugbear with the car overall has got to be the CVT gearbox. That you know, it's not even a gearbox. You can't even call it a gearbox. I don't understand why Toyota has stuck with this. They've said that they've improved it, that it's slightly better, it doesn't whine as much, but to be honest, it's still doing the same old thing. No matter what you put on this car, CVT just just not, in my opinion, is the right, you know, way to go with this car. Nice sort of 6-speed auto with a choice of maybe a 6-speed manual or something like that. I think that'd be the way forward for the next generation of Toyota Corollas. There are 3 different driving modes in this car. The driving modes are accessed down here. It says drive mode, and basically when you're driving initially, it will always come up in the normal mode. So there's a normal mode, which we're in at the moment. If you push up the car, you get a nice little animation here in the dashboard, and the car will go into sport mode, which is nice, and you know, it gives it a little bit more bang for your buck. You'll feel it pick up, but immediately the mileage will start to drop because you're obviously now using the full capacity of the engine. Then all you've got to do is flick down back into normal and then down into eco, and again the animation changes, and you can start to see that you're in, you know, you get a better fuel consumption. The car's slightly quite a bit slower to pick up as well, but when you need it, it's there. Slap it into sport mode and away it goes. It's a lovely car to drive, apart from that, you know, the CVT. I'm not going to call it a gearbox. Everything's here. It's got plenty of safety aids. It comes with cruise control. You've got those beepers. You've got the reverse camera. You've got a tyre pressure monitor. You've got lane keeping and departure warning on this car as well. There's pretty much everything you're going to need when you're out on the road. And even on your entry-level car, I think is fully, you know, it's got enough on there for a general day-to-day usage of this car. And that's what is key, I feel, about this whole car. Its popularity is the fact that it is probably one of the best day-to-day cars you're going to get, and now it's so economical as well. I just think Toyota have nailed it with the Corolla. It's an incredible car, and it's testament to its heritage. So there you have it, guys. The Toyota Corolla. What do I think of it? I think you have to get down and give one of these a test drive, because I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised with what you actually get for your money. Additionally, and I'm going to tell you this because it's pretty spectacular, this car comes with a 10-year unlimited mileage warranty. Really doesn't get much better than that either. You've got a 12-year anti-perforation warranty. That's for all your rusty bits. Not that I think they'll ever have any rusty bits on this car. It's so well built as well. You've then got a 3-year paint warranty. You've got 1 year award-winning roadside assistance as well. I can't see this breaking down either. That's probably why Toyota go, you know what, we'll just give everybody the maximum what we can give them, because we trust this car. We know exactly how this car is. And if all that wasn't enough, with that hybrid system, you've got a 15 years of cover on the components and the battery. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer, don't you guys? Personally, I'd plump probably for your entry-level car, the Icon. I think it's a smashing car. It comes with enough bits and pieces that warrants 30,000 UK pounds upwards. So at the end of the day, and the 16-inch rims, I think, are more than enough currently, you know, out on our typical road conditions. It's a super little car. Get down, give one a test drive, see what you think of it, because at the end of the day, I can wax lyrical about this. You might not find it the way I find it. That's why we're all different. That's why we're all human beings at the end of the day. Speaking of human beings, you've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed our little review of the Toyota Corolla. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. And if you wouldn't mind, give us a big thumbs up, because we don't get a bonus, we don't get a pay rise or anything like that by you thumbsing up. But what we do get is a pat on the back from the boss to say, job well done, AJ. They liked what you did, and they keep me in a job. Thank you very much. You can put a comment down below. That's easy as well. Just stick a comment in there. One of the team will get back to you. Anything you want to know about the car, maybe you've got a comment, maybe you've got a personal comment about one of these. Maybe you've bought one and you're happy with it, or you're unhappy with it. Put it in the comment box. It's always worth having a little chat. You never know who else is watching. They'll give you an answer as well. Everybody can communicate, and we can all talk about this car as and when we want to. At the end of the day, subscribe, guys, because we don't just do car reviews. You know that. You saw that at the beginning. We do tons of other stuff. We're doing watches, boats, cars, jet skis, you name it, because we're part of the Player, the magazine, the bookazine as it's called. Well, it is a bookazine, but it's also online, and this is where I want to give you guys something completely nothing, completely free of charge. Because you watch me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel, you can have a copy of our 220-page men's bookazine, and it's got everything in it that us guys love. There are cars, there are boats, there are motorbikes, there are jet skis, there are interviews, food, golf, holidays. In actual fact, it's just ram-packed full of all the lovely bits and pieces we love. You can have the online version, because the actual book itself comes out twice a year, but it costs £100 UK per copy. Might be a little bit too much. By all means, if you want to buy one, head over to the website and purchase yourself one. Absolutely love you to, it's not a problem. But if you want the free version, which is all geared up to be online, where you can flick the pages using your mouse or your finger if you've got one of those iPad things, or you can zoom in, or you can download it and read it whenever you want, or you can read it live online. It's all there, simple. It's at www.theplayer.co.uk. It's coming in here now. I'll leave it up down there. It's down there on the bottom. Head over there. Nothing to fill in except a name and an email. Simple as. You can even lie if you want to. We don't care. It'd be nice if we had your proper email though. Stick that in there. You've got access to that, and every time a new one comes out, you'll get informed, and then you can go on and you can just download the next copy as well, or read it online, as I said. Guys, thanks for watching. You've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. I'll catch you next week with something hopefully equally as good as the Toyota Corolla.